Hi guys, this is Karen from Karen Beauty, and today I'm going to be using affordable makeup to put together an easy everyday look for work. Recently, a friend of mine told me that she was going back to work after being at home with her child for a few years. She was looking for makeup that was not only budget friendly, but was good enough to wear to her job. So this had me thinking, this would be a great tutorial to share with you guys. So if you want to see how to get an affordable, everyday look that you can wear to work, keep on watching. Now let's move on to the tutorial. So first I'm going to start by priming my face. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Face Primer, and this is in the dewy finish. This primer is going to make my face look very, very natural, not too matte. I'm just going to dab a little bit of this all over my face. I'm just going to rub this in. So right now in Toronto it's like 30 degrees out, and so in order to ensure that my makeup doesn't melt off, I'm going to show you this quick trick. So whenever the weather is really, really hot and humid, you could try this out. After my primer, I use a translucent setting powder, whether it's a loose or a pressed powder, over top my primer. And this kind of sets my primer, and it's underneath my foundation. It gives a really nice base to adhere to. So today I'm going to use the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder, and this is a pressed powder. It's a white translucent. And I'm just going to take my Morphe E52 brush. I'm going to dab it in here, and I'm just going to pat that on my face. Now that I have that powder in my face, it's like, oh, it's pretty much set my primer. I'm going to move on to foundation. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation, and this is in the color Caramel. This is like new to me. I actually had a really hard time finding this color. I had to order it from Walmart.ca's website, and even then it was one of their partners that sent it to me. Walmart itself didn't have my color. This foundation says that there's no photo flashback, and they've tested it under 7 light conditions and with or without flash. So not sure if that, we'll see how that works out, but this is a pretty full coverage foundation, and I'm just gonna spread it on my face, first using the spatula that comes with the bottle. And I think that that's really handy because not all foundations come with a pump or a spatula, so it makes applying it to your face a little easier. And then I'm going to use my trusty damp beauty blender just to pounce that into my skin. I'm noticing that this foundation is a little warmer than my complexion, but that's okay. The weather's getting a little warmer, and I will continue to tan more with the sun, no matter how much I wear hats or whatnot. The sun just still finds me. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more to my cheeks. Those are my problem areas with hyperpigmentation and acne scarring. And I have to say, like, this foundation actually has a pretty interesting smell. I was a little concerned about it because other reviews that I saw on the internet said it smelled like paint. It is more of a clinical smell, I'll tell you that, versus something that smells like vanilla, like how Fenty does. But I mean, it's not overbearing, that's for sure. So I like where this foundation is. I'm going to move on to concealing my under eyes. First, I'm gonna color correct because I'm noticing that there's quite a bit of darkness under my under eyes. I'm gonna use the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Orange just to color correct this area. This is a pretty intense color corrector. I think I may have put too much on, but we'll see. We'll make it work. I'm gonna use the same beauty blender, and I'm just gonna pounce that out. Probably should have put some around my mouth area before I added foundation, so I'll just put it there now and maybe conceal. So I'll be honest, I tried to get a concealer from Wet n Wild. I got this makeup stick, the Conceal makeup stick, and I've used it already, and I can tell you right now, it does not give me enough coverage for my under eyes. So I'll let you know, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna use another concealer that I have on hand. I went looking for my Maybelline Age Rewind concealer, and I just couldn't find it. But normally, if I'm doing a drugstore look or an affordable look, that's the concealer I would use. So I'm gonna go and just conceal my eyes and I'll be back. So now I'm all concealed and I need to set this concealer. So what I'm going to do is I like to set my under eye using a yellow powder, and this Wet n Wild contouring palette has a beautiful yellow powder in it. So I'm going to use that to set my under eye. Now that my under eye is set with powder, I'm going to move on and I'm going to do my brows. So for my brows today, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil, and this is in the color dark brown. This pencil is so super affordable, and it has a spoolie on one end that I can use to brush out my brows, and it has a retractable pencil on this end. And this pencil is kind of in a triangular shape, so it makes it really easy to fill in my brows and shape them. So I start by just drawing a line underneath my brows and I fill from there. When I get to the front of my brow, I like to mimic the brow hair by just drawing upwards, just flicking the brow pencil up, and it gives me these hair-like strokes. And now that I have this brow looking the way I want it to, I'm going to move on to the next. So I'm going to create a really nice everyday look that can be worn at work. And I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach palette. And I think that this has really great warm colors that can be used in the day as well as at night. So let's just get into it. So when you look at the palette, there's 10 colors and it's really an affordable palette. And I don't remember exactly what the price is, but I will put the prices down for each of the items below in the description section. But there's 2 colors that they've labeled transition. You don't have to use them as transition if you don't want to. And then they have these beautiful 8 colors in the center, some of which are matte and others that have some shimmer in them. So I'm going to use my pointed blender brush and I'm going to go in with this color at the bottom. It's kind of a burnt orange, maybe brown. And I'm going to use this as my transition shade. I'm just going to apply that to the crease of my eye. I want to mention that when applying color to your crease, you just want to go in a windshield wiper motion, just back and forth, and you want to use the lightest hand. So I'm really not applying any pressure to my brush, but I'm just lightly going back and forth. And if you are unsure about the amount of pressure that you're applying to your brush, try to hold it at the end of the brush, and you'll notice that it'll just lightly put color on, just by holding it at the end of the brush. So again, because this is an everyday look, I'm just gonna go back into the palette. I'm gonna use this color at the top here that is also labeled as transition. And I'm gonna apply that over top the first color, just towards the edges. And that'll help blend out the edges. I'm gonna go back in with the first transition color, this dark burnt orange, and I'm just gonna build again in the crease. And I have to say, like, these shadows are extremely pigmented for their price point. I mean, Wet n Wild has really stepped it up. It's not the brand that I remember from high school, that's for sure. I just really like how they apply, and they're very, very blendable. So I really like how that crease is looking. I'm gonna go back into the palette. I'm just gonna apply this peachy color right here to my eyelid using the same brush. I don't mind using the same brush in this instance because that little bit of deposit of color that's already on the brush is going to help blend everything together and make it more cohesive. As you can see, the colors are starting to melt in. Now, really and truly, if you wanted, you could stop here and this could be your eyeshadow for work. But I'm just going to add a little bit of color, a little more color. And I'm going to go into this shimmery color over here, and I'm just going to apply that onto my lid. So I really like how this eye looks. I'm going to move on and complete the second side. So now I'm back. I finished the eyeshadow on my second eye, and I also went ahead and I applied liquid liner. I just figured I'd do that so that you guys didn't have to sit through it, but I wanted to let you know about this liquid liner that I used. I used Wet n Wild's H2O waterproof liquid liner, and this is in the color black, and it's a really cool liquid liner. It has a really nice applicator. It has a very fine point that makes it really easier to apply liquid liner to your eyes. I'm going to tightline my lower lash line with black eyeliner, and I'm going to use the Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal, Black is Black. This is a drugstore liner that I've had on hand, and I just figured it'd be really nice to tightline using it. It's a really, really good and highly pigmented eyeliner, and it's very, very easy to use. And you know what? I made a little mistake and I actually hit the outside of my eyelids, so you know what? I'm going to run some of that color along there. When mistakes happen, you can always fix them, so never stress out about it. So I'm just going to reach, sorry for my reach. I'm going to just take a clean angled liner brush and I'm just going to run it along that lower lash line where I accidentally smudged that Kajal liner, and I'm going to smudge that black out. So I have that smoky lower lash line. I'm going to take a small blending brush like this one. This one's from Morphe. It's an M506. I'm going to dip it into that deeper transition color. I'm going to kick off some of that excess. And I'm going to apply it to my lower lid or lower lash line, starting from the outside, moving in. And this will also smoke out that black. When I get to the center, I'm going to mix that peachy color with that coppery shimmery color. I'm going to kick off the excess and I'm going to apply it to that lower lash line from the middle inwards. And I'm liking where my eyes are at. I'm going to apply some mascara. I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Protein Mascara. And what I wanted to mention about this mascara is that it's soy protein fortified. It's enriched with acai oil, and it's a nourishing mascara that conditions your lashes and helps make them fuller and thicker naturally. So let's give this a whirl. It has a really nice full brush. I'm going to apply this to my lashes. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure I like how this brush works on my lower lash line, but it works nicely on my upper lashes. So I'm gonna make it work. And it's not to say that this is not a good mascara, it's just the brush doesn't really work for me and my lower lashes. Okay. So I'm gonna move on to my highlight and contour. I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. So I went ahead and I just contoured my nose off camera, and I'm gonna just walk you through how I contour and highlight my face. So I'm gonna use, actually, when I was purchasing these Wet n Wild products, I saw that Wet n Wild has a contour stick. So I'm gonna use this one. It's a cream contour in the color Call Me Maple, not Color Me Maple. And I'm just gonna apply this here and here. I'm gonna apply some on my forehead. Just a little there, and I think that's all I need. Just make that a little deeper. And I'm going to use my damp beauty blender just to blend this out. Now, whenever you apply a cream contour, you should always follow it up with a powder contour. So I'm going to use the Wet n Wild contour palette in the color Caramel Toffee. I'm really liking this palette. It has a beautiful brown contour as well as a yellow powder. And I like the yellow powder for my undertone because I have a yellow undertone. And it works really well on my skin tone. And I should mention that this palette didn't cost me any more than $7. So that in itself is magical. I'm going to dip my Morphe R7 brush into the contour color. And I'm just going to run that color over top my cream contour. And I'm just going to take some and apply it to my forehead, just very lightly. And I'm just going to take a little bit, apply it to my jawline. This is something I always like to do because I have a bit of a double chin and a round face, and I like to make that as minuscule as possible, if that is possible. And I'm not going to add any more color to my brush, but I am just gonna buff out that contour. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild MegaGlo highlighting powder in the color Precious Petals. And it's this beautiful, I always want to say rose gold, but it's more champagne-y gold. And I'm going to apply this using my Morphe M510 brush, which is a very small highlighting brush. And I'm going to apply that to the top of my cheekbones and under my eyebrow bone. And I'm really, really liking the shine on this. This highlight's so nice. This is an amazing, amazing price point for this type of product. So this is the highlight on its own. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my hack. I'm going to use a setting spray or a primer mist, and I'm going to apply that to my brush. And I'm going to use this brush and dip into the highlight and apply it to this side. And you'll see just how that highlight is gonna pop. Just look at that shimmer. Like, I mean, this is really nice and natural, but if you want it to pop, just add that mist of some sort and it will pop. I'm just gonna apply some to my Cupid's bow, like so. And that is my highlight, my contour. And I'm just gonna finish off the look with my lips. I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna do my lips, I'll be back, and we'll wrap this up. Okay, so off camera I used a lip liner. I actually couldn't find any drugstore lip liners in my collection, so I'll let you know I used Max Cork. I cheated a little, but I did use Revlon's Brazilian Tan, which is like my tried and true neutral lipstick. I really love this lipstick. And I also realized I didn't do blush. Oh my god, I didn't do blush on camera. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the color Apricot in the middle. And I'm going to use my Morphe Y3 brush, which is like my tried and true blush brush. And I'm going to apply that blush in between my contour and my highlight. This is a really nice, subtle, peachy tone that I'm hoping will show up on my complexion. It might not. It's kind of warming it up a little, you know. Giving me a little flush, maybe not really, but I've applied the blush, I've popped on some earrings, and now I'm going to set my makeup, and I'm going to use my tried and true Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Natural Finish Setting Spray. No more than $6 for this setting spray. It's a little bottle, but it packs a punch, and I'm just gonna, it's a new bottle guys, sorry. I'm just gonna be kissed by the makeup gods, and now my look is complete. Today I put together an easy everyday look using affordable makeup. Buying makeup is possible on a budget. Just keep an eye out on the sales and price match where possible. Let me know in the comment section below about any products that you use that are budget friendly. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends because they're gonna want to learn about these budget friendly products too. If you like me and you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel so you can get more of my content. And until next time, I'm sending love and light your way. Bye!